Hey guys, Lady Borgia, welcome back to my channel. And yes, today is my first vlog and also my invisible diseases. That is not clickbait. It is something that I decided you guys probably need to know, and it make a heck of a lot more sense in some of the series that are going to be upcoming on my channel. I'm going to be putting out different videos that are helpful to actually everyone, but also people with the same things that I have. So I guess I should jump in and explain. I always like to help people. When I was in kindergarten, I had a little medical kit. I wanted to be a surgeon since I was 3 years old. And my kindergarten teacher said to my mom, she's like, every time somebody gets hurt, I'd be the first one on the scene patching them up. My dad was a doctor, so I knew what I was doing. And I was always the one my friends came to talk about things. In fact, it was mentioned if my kitchen table could talk. Oh my goodness. Good thing it couldn't, and thank God I don't talk either. Not about other people. Okay, I'm going to tell you the story, what it is, what I'm talking about. But first, before we get into it, I gotta do my wave. I'm loving the YouTube community, and today we're gonna do a double. We have HAZZEL UREY. She makes, I'm sorry if I butcher your last name, I hope it's right. Beautiful footage. Oh my gosh. Both of these people, I should mention, have inspired me to do upcoming videos based on their work. He's got beautiful footage of, I mean, geez, all over the place. You've got to go check it out. It's flippin' incredible. And Patsyhoolahan, who couldn't love Patsy? Her puppets and her songs are freaking hysterical. It's like I don't know, it's like the Muppet Show, but for now. I mean, it's so cool. So I'll link them in the description box below. And hey, let's go. We're going to jump in. My invisible diseases, or maybe not so much invisible. One day I took a nap. There was going to be a party. We were going to about an hour north. I was perfectly fine, and I woke up and I felt bad. I felt like I was getting sick. You know, your joints are achy, your skin hurts, stuff like that. And I just thought, oh, well, you know, I'll get better. It wasn't too bad at that point. So we went, and part of the way through the party, like, it just got worse and worse and worse. And finally somebody said, go home, you look like hell. Actually, they said something else, but so we went home. I took some NyQuil, because normally when I'm sick, if I just, you know, take a little NyQuil and you go to sleep and, you know, sleep it off and you feel better, or at least, you know, couldn't go to sleep. So I took a bath. It just, everything, it was hurting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And fast forward, by 2 a.m., it was just excruciating. I could barely hold still. I have a really high pain tolerance too. So they called an ambulance and took me to the hospital. And good Lord, I got put next to the drunk guy. Yay. I mean, you know, they have them sectioned off in the ER, but it was 2 a.m. St. Patrick's Day. So I guess he started celebrating early. I thought you waited until like the actual daytime of St. Patrick's Day, but so like I said, the anniversary of it is coming up. And I guess he started really early, so that wasn't a lot of fun. And they did all the testing, whatnot, so on and so forth. Could not figure out for the life of them what was wrong with me. Fast forward, finally I was discharged. They gave me the name of a doctor to go see, and because I didn't have a primary care physician even in the area. I moved to the area not too long before that. And this is a part that actually turned out really well. He was on vacation, so Dr. whoever, I forget who your name is, but thank you for being on vacation, because I actually found my internist, my primary care physician, who is like God. He's like a total rock star physician, like everything you could ever want. He's so good. So anyway, thank goodness for them, because a lot of people go a really long time being not being diagnosed, being misdiagnosed. They did a bunch of testing, Lyme's disease, certain viruses, whatnot. They were trying to keep me comfortable, and finally went through it, and they said, within 6 weeks, they said, listen, you need to go to a specialist. You need to see a rheumatologist, which the thought was it was potentially rheumatoid arthritis, which is an autoimmune disease. And meaning your immune system, which is what, in layman's terms, I'm also a scientist, I did not get to end up being a surgeon, and big reason because of this. So that's part of the story I'll tell you in a little bit. But the immune system is the system in your body that protects you from illness, from foreign invaders. When you have a cold or the flu, well, those are both viruses, or bacterial infections, you know, it goes and attacks it. And actually, when your nose is running or you have a fever or things like that, it's not actually the virus that's causing it or the bacteria. It's your immune system raising the temperature in your body or flushing your nose out, trying to kill whatever it is. So it's your body actually making you feel like crap a lot of the time. Yay! But usually it kills whatever it is. Well, people with autoimmune disorders, specifically rheumatoid arthritis, your body's confused and attacks your joints. So anyway, went to the rheumatologist, and on April 24th got the diagnosis. So it was really fast. I was very, very lucky. I came to find out very soon that most people do not get diagnosed that fast. So thank you. That part is really great. And I kind of knew I had it, but you know, and my mom, you know, I think both of us kind of knew, but we didn't want to say it because it's incurable and it can be extremely debilitating. And I was a very healthy person and very active. I've always been, you know, skiing, equestrian, tennis, sailing. Oh gosh, I used to go to camp in the summers up in Michigan, and geez, the things we did in one day, every day. And that's just, you know, I always like to be active. I played basketball. I was MVP for that, so on and so forth. So, you know, you're really hoping, you know, wow, this could really change things a lot. And so he told me what it was. And not only did I have that rheumatoid arthritis, I also had fibromyalgia, which is a neurological disorder which causes a lot of pain. I have a very severe case of rheumatoid arthritis. Normally when somebody comes down with rheumatoid arthritis, it is 2 to 6 joints. I already had 20 plus. I got hit like bam, a Mack truck, and they don't know why. There's a family history. There really isn't with me. I have one great aunt who got it at age 85. I think that's one of the reasons it was a bit of a surprise. So, that day that I got diagnosed, we left, and there was going to be a bunch of medication that I was going to be on. We went home, and we got home, and I called my mom, and I told her, and, you know, we both, I mean, I don't know how you can say it. It just kind of sucked. It did. It was like, wow, okay. So we got off the phone, and I honestly, it's kind of confused. Like, what do I do with myself now? So I decided to get on the computer and go and look up RA groups, like the bulletin board groups where you can leave things and people chat back and forth like that. Anyway, I found a lot of people right away who told me a lot of interesting information. about having it and warned me about a lot of things like stress and other things that you see that it's going to be, you know, when you read it in a brochure, it's very different than talking to somebody that has it. And even though I have a degree, I was pre-med and bio, I was also psychology, and was in toxicology and other things. I knew someone, worked with someone who had a very severe case. It's different. It's different when you actually have it. No matter how much you know, no matter how much you've studied, it's just different because it's not just your joints. It's your whole body is affected, your sleep, lack of sleep. Oh my gosh, does that affect you so bad? Energy levels, spiking fevers, nausea. Some people get like really depressed or really anxious. Thankfully, I did not get that. If anything, I got more so anxious because I'm always wanting to get things done, and that kind of, you know, because in the beginning you do miss out on a lot because you're sick. I mean, and I didn't know if I wanted to tell people because, and especially in a place that I had just moved and I'd made a bunch of friends, and then, I don't know, I went, hey, guess what? You know, and I didn't want people to like feel pity for me. Oh, because people get weird around you a lot of the time. And I didn't want that. I've always been outgoing and everything like that. So I didn't tell people for a little bit. And then my mom finally said, you know, and then I had to cancel things because I didn't feel good. And, you know, this is very early on in it. And some of the medication made me not feel good. There's one of the major things they put you on when you first have it is methotrexate. And that is a chemo drug. And it's in a lower dose than for cancer, but you take it once a week in pill form. You take like 6 pills. Oh my gosh. I swear it felt like my veins were shriveling in my body. It was just, it feels like you're just like, and it is, it's basically a poison. I mean, it's meant to kill cancerous cells, and you know, at lower doses, it's supposed to get your immune system under control. It never worked for me. You know, and the biologics, which are mostly in shot form, they, I went through most, you know, Humira, Enbrel, Symphony, oh my gosh, I could keep naming them. 3 of them work by suppressing the immune system. And the problem being is if you get sick, you have to get off of them right away. And you also get sick easier, like colds and flus and stuff, because your immune system's suppressed. And then if you don't get off the medication as quickly as possible, and you take the shot usually once a week, if you take it again, you can die. I mean, people have died because your immune system is so suppressed, you can die from a cold or the flu. So that's, you know, that's a little bit of a problem. Understatement of the year. Yeah, I tend to understate things rather than exaggerate things. And I'm just looking down. I had a few notes just so I would remember certain things I wanted to say, because this is a lot of stuff that happened. I mean, I was in and out of the hospital a couple times. I mean, one time, one of the things that can happen a lot with people with rheumatoid arthritis is blood clots. And our blood clots easier, and you can end up with DVTs, deep vein thrombosis, blood clots in your legs, or you can get them in your legs, especially from being immobile if you're not feeling well and you're laying down a lot or something, and you can end up throwing clots into your lungs, and they become PEs, pulmonary embolisms. And oh, that's the other thing I forgot to say. When I was 14, I was diagnosed with exercise-induced asthma. And I had a lot of problems all of a sudden with getting respiratory infections, a lot of bronchitis, pleurisy. Ooh, that is an infection between the outer lining of your lung and your lung. Oh, it feels like somebody stabbed you. Holy moly. Anyway, I went through that, and then I seemed to like grow out of it. Early college, there was a little trouble, and then whoop, asthma went away. That went away. It was fine. So I obviously had some kind of immune system problems earlier. But the asthma came back, and that came back later on. And, you know, things, I've been on the medications, and they do work for a lot of people. I mean, there's 1.5 million people affected with rheumatoid arthritis just in the US. So it's a fairly prevalent disease. And that's just one type of arthritis and one type of autoimmune disease. There's many more, like psoriasis, lupus, scleroderma, IBS, different types of irritable bowel syndrome. There's a lot of immune syndromes, diseases, and disorders that affect a lot of people. And I'm saying, already there's 1.5 million just in the US, and we're not talking worldwide, and we're on a platform that speaks to the whole world. I mean, anybody in the world who watch videos can see this. So anyway, coming around, I had a real problem after all this, trying all different medications, a second rheumatologist. In fact, I'm going on to my third. You know, just trying and trying and trying different medications and different things. And, you know, you don't want to be sick and miss out on things. At least I don't. I mean, I did meet somebody who's like, oh, you're so lucky, you get to rest and what? I'm like, are you freaking insane? And I don't know anybody who would wish to do that. But I don't know, there are some messed up people in the world who, I don't know, I guess that's fun for them. So I decided, okay, I cannot cure this, but I'm going to try to do everything I can, because enough is enough. You know, there's certain things I can't do as well anymore. Like, I was a musician. I played the piano from the age of 3, guitar, bass, clarinet, sang. I mean, you know, last time I performed was New Year's Eve. That was so much fun, but it was quite a while ago. And that's another thing that happened. As time went by, more joints and more joints and more joints were affected. It was spreading, and everything from the neck down, I have it in right now. And because when I started, my elbows weren't affected, my shoulders weren't affected. And, you know, you want to try to keep it from spreading, because it also can spread to your skin and even worse, your heart. Yeah, you need that. And there's congenital heart disease in my family. In fact, both my father, who is an extremely healthy man, but for that passed at age 51, and my grandfather also passed away from that. So that is in my family. So it's not a good mixture. But I am not going to let it beat me. I refuse. I'm stubborn. Yeah. So this is what I did. I took all the information that my friends were giving me, and this is one thing. I am not saying do not see your physician. I regularly see a physician. I regularly see a specialist. And you know what? If you have something and somebody's not listening to you, go to another physician. Keep going. Because I had a girlfriend who had gout. Her father had gout, and she actually had a physician tell her she tested positive for all the markers, and her physician told her, you're too young. You can't possibly have it. But, you know, you have all the markers and all the symptoms, and that's just complete, pardon me, bullshit. So if you have something, or you feel you have something, and, you know, legit, you've got these things, you keep going until you find somebody who takes you seriously. I was very lucky. And this is the other thing, you know, a lot of these things are invisible. I mean, if you looked at me, you probably wouldn't notice. Although one person did say in the comments, like, you looked a little different in that video. And you know what? I did. Good catch. I had to look and see who it was. My face swells. And if you know me, like, I'll swell up through here and here. If you don't know me, you might miss it. And my hands are always, this is not what my hands always look like. In fact, I don't have any nails on right now. So actually, I've never had fake nails in my life, but my nails just grow up. But if you notice, in between my hands, actually it's pretty good today, but normally it pops outward because they're always swollen. That's my cat. Polly, stop it. Polly, no. Somebody wants to be on. My animals are very sensitive to all this. So she probably knows. Cats are smart. My dog, both of my cats. Somebody's wanted to come in my studio. Anyway, let me get back to where I was. Because I want to wrap this up. So, I wanted to find some ways that even if the medicine wasn't going to help me, that were going to help me, because I just, this can't be. I can't live my freaking life this way. I have a life. I'm still the same person. I want to, I want to live. I want to do stuff. And, I've been fighting the whole way along. So I went and I tried a lot of things with, diet, sleep, stress, exercise, whatnot. I mean, there's the Magic 5. I'm going to do a whole video on this. One thing that was a little disconcerting in the beginning is a lot of things for exercise with people with arthritis. It's mostly aimed at the elderly. And I have no problem taking a class with the elderly. That's fine. I have friends of all ages. Friendships, it does not matter what age you are to me. But when the only exercise classes, because you need to do low impact because of your joints, are only aimed at the elderly, it gets a little bit disconcerting when everybody's like 40 years, 30 years, whatever, older than you. So I wanted to create something, because there's a lot of people with juvenile RA, other young people with RA that have got it very early, young mothers with RA, young fathers. I wanted to do something and put it out there for all the people who have it, other people with immune diseases, and just anybody, anybody with injuries, whatnot. So I have found a lot of things that you can supplement or switch out different exercises for this or for that can help you get into better shape in a way that's much more comfortable, but is very effective. Different foods that helped, at least they helped me. And I've seen them help other people, so on and so forth. So I want to share everything that I've learned on my journey with you guys. So I wanted to explain this. I don't know how soon these series will start. I'm going to try to get them rolling. I'm just getting rolling with all the other things with my art. Unfortunately, that's the thing with the music. I wanted to do that, but it's hard for me to play the piano and the bass and the guitar, and I can't sing very well. If you saw my last video, I almost constantly have a sore throat if I talk too much. I have inflamed tonsils from this. And by the way, nothing I have is catching. You cannot catch any of this. I look perfectly normal when I walk down the street. You would not know that anything is wrong with me. I went to my doctor said to me, he's like, yeah, you have inflamed tonsils, and sent me to an ENT, ear, nose, and throat guy. And he did an endoscopy, which is that fun thing where they put the camera up your nose and down your throat. Ooh, yeah, that's how I want to spend my day. Whew, actually, it's not too bad if you breathe. If you breathe right and they numb you, it's like, okay, I can get through this. I can get through this. And you just, the more you just think good thoughts and just, okay, focus on something else, you'll get through it faster. That's one thing I can say is I've been in so many doctor's offices and had so many procedures done and so many other things. Just like, if it's unpleasant, just get through it as quickly as possible. If you drag it out, it's just going to be worse. So he checked me out and he's like, yeah, you have inflamed tonsils. Okay, are we going to remove them? No, I don't think, I think they're okay. I don't think they're okay. So I'm going to be going to another ear, nose, and throat guy and seeing about it, because there is no reason for my tonsils to be inflamed this much, for me to have the sore throats. And I understand if there's certain things like the piano and the guitar and whatnot that are difficult because of the manual dexterity. But come on, let me have my singing back. I mean, I didn't say I was Mariah Carey or anything like that, but I like to sing. I like it. I've always sang. I have fun with it. And I want it so my throat doesn't hurt. So I'm going to, like I told you guys, go in there. I got to do that myself. So, the one thing that I did find out that brings me great joy is I did stop painting and doing making special effects stuff and all that for a bit, because I've always preferred painting on things and people. And I didn't for a while. And then when I went to do it, it had been a while. I'm like, oh my God, did I forget? Did I forget? And the brush kind of just like went where it was supposed to. I mean, I'm not saying I'm perfect or anything like that, but I was really pleased. So I always believe, you know, you're always consistently learning and growing as an artist. And, you know, I can still write my stories and do all that. So, you know, the more you do those things that you love, even though there's some things you can't do, I can tell you that will improve your situation 100% no matter what is wrong. Even if you don't have any health issues, make sure that you do something that you have joy in your life. And on that note, I think we're going to wrap this up because this is more than long enough, and tell you that I'm going to be bringing you stuff as soon as I can, along with my beauty, my special effects, my whatnot. And if I do miss, I know I'm scheduled every Wednesday to upload. I did miss this Wednesday. I don't expect to miss that on a regular basis. But if I do miss a scheduled upload, it's probably because of something like this. In fact, it's either a major emergency or I had a bad flare. But I don't like to let this take over for things like that. So I try to do things well in advance. But once in a while, you know, stuff happens. So I'm very excited. I hope I can help some of you guys out there, whether you have RA or any symptom or disease or not. And, oh, this is one thing I did want to bring up before I go. I thought it was really great when I tweeted that I was going to be filming this. I actually tweeted it yesterday, and then we had a bunch of things with the storm. I went to put the hashtag invisible disease, and before I could, invisible illnesses came up. And 760 people, I believe, had hashtagged it that day, yesterday. So thumbs up, that's great. It's great. People are getting more aware of illnesses that are invisible, because at the beginning of this, I got some really nasty looks for, you know, certain things, walking slow, this, that, you know, they see a young person, what's wrong with you, you know? So people are becoming more aware of it. I mean, I don't want you to pity me. I don't want any of that. Just, you know, aware. Just because somebody doesn't look ill doesn't mean that they're not. And just take a thought, be a little bit patient, you know. I don't want to go around wearing a freaking t-shirt. In fact, in those chat rooms, somebody was like, well, maybe if we had something on our cars or a bumper sticker, you know, like there's pink for breast cancer, maybe there could be blue for RA. And I'm like, you know what? I shouldn't have to put a sticker on my car for you to be understanding if I'm not like rushing out of a car space, or if I'm taking a minute to get in my car. If I'm taking a minute to get in my car and I feel good, you know what? I'm taking a minute. Have some patience in life, please. You know, be reasonable and kind to each other. So that is what I have to say. I don't think I'm going to do much editing in this, so I want to get it out to you guys. And I know I rambled a little bit, but that's a lot of information down into one space, and this is as real as it gets, guys. So I'm going to be doing some live streams really soon. In fact, I might test them out tomorrow, just like a get ready with me or whatnot, because I want to get into that. I hope that you are going to enjoy my things. I hope that my story has reached some of you guys and helped in some way. Give me a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe, so you know when I've got things coming, because like I said, only Wednesdays are scheduled. The rest of the days, I can often get like 4 or 5 videos out in a week, but I only schedule Wednesdays because of this, and it's a little bit easier for me to get things out. And plus my schedule changes with different weeks. So have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful night. Love, Lady Borgia.